Jesus says it is finished, it's like it's been paid in full.
Yeah.
It's done. All like legal standings, everything, it's solid. It's finished.
Jesus says they will know you are my disciples by how you love one another. So sonship, daughtership, like that's not something that we earn. Bro. And just the power and authority that comes with that.
It's crazy.
And then also being able to like know that the Jesus you serve can empathize with that pain, you know, of being mischaracterized, misunderstood, and downright hated.
You don't get hit if you don't step up to bat.
Yeah.
So I think as believers, we've got to step up to bat in different things.
And here we are.
Here we go.
Back once again.
21.
21. 21's what's a great 21 number? Oh, LT, favorite football player of all time, LaDainian Tomlinson, Senegal Chargers. Senegal Chargers, not LA Chargers, because LaDainian Tomlinson, number 21.
LT. That's funny. You say that, and I think Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Thompson.
Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now they say it. It's like that thing when all of a sudden you pronounce a word and you're like, wait, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Is that really who that
Taylor,
is?
Who put many quarterbacks in hospitals.
It's true, he did.
Broke a lot of collarbones.
Cracked him, dude.
Can you imagine being that strong of a human being that you're like, I can
crush you.
Other grown men's bones, even when you're protected in football gear.
No.
What a flex.
It's no joke, right?
It's like Samson, dude.
The other largest humans, like the largest human athletes, like bulk-wise, and you can break
You're the
them.
1% of the 1%ers.
Yep. You're going to break them. Wow. And that leads us to Paul.
We can have a sports podcast, dude.
Sports podcast.
Just kidding, dude.
Oh, man.
But here we are. We're back again.
Yep.
We split up your message into two parts.
I did, dude. Yep. And so full disclosure. Well, one, so you guys are watching this, I taught Thursday. If you didn't see the message, go. It's on YouTube.
We will.
It'll be up. It's up. So go watch it. So that way this will make more sense. And two, I hope you guys enjoyed Pastor Keith Jenkins.
I'm sure.
We're filming this Thursday night. Not late night though. This is like earlier night.
It's like, daylight savings time has started, so it's like it's after dark, but it's been after dark for a while.
Yeah, it's been after dark.
So it's not the same anymore.
Yeah,
it's just the dark.
Exactly. It's the dark. So never mind. Okay. So full disclosure on this message is that like I broke it up into two, and then this week was like slammed with stuff because we're getting ready. We're in Greece. And then today was slammed.
That's right. It was a full day.
It was a full day. We had our 4-hour meeting. And so I was like, I hit my notes back and I was like, oh, wow. I had way less content than I realized. So there's nothing.
We had just about time.
It's like this is what I added.
It's perfectly cooked.
It's perfectly cooked. So I started going through my notes on my iPad. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, shoot. I thought I had way more content than I actually did. And then the Lord just started dropping stuff in my spirit.
That's cool.
And I was like, oh, okay. And even on on the platform tonight, just like while I was preaching, the Lord just was bringing stuff to mind and whatnot. So it worked out, dude.
As a communicator, I know it's not everyone's a communicator watching this, but as a communicator in those moments, how resistant are you to being like, this is being dropped in my spirit, or like I haven't rehearsed this, so like this hasn't been tested,
right?
So am I letting this fly? Is
this
the Lord, or is this
It's so when I was younger. I just let things fly. Bro, when I was a youth pastor, I would preach a full message and then read the next chapter and realize everything I just
had nothing to do with
it. Was just completely wrong. Maybe some of the biblical principles were right, but it was like that was not the right passage.
What the text was saying.
Not what the text was saying. I remember, oh gosh, dude. So I remember preaching about this one character in the Old Testament being super loyal, and it's the next chapter that he completely bails on the I think on King David actually. I was like, but anyways, so yeah, I now having done this for 20 some years, I kind of like, I'm quickly fact checking myself in my mind. And then, like I won't say it if I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
But then there's other things where if I feel like, yeah, that proves out, and then I can roll with it.
Yeah. Cool.
And I think too, like it's also in a lot of ways how you phrase it, meaning that like, not instead of saying this is what the Lord says, or this is what the Lord did or whatever. It's almost as if this is what could have happened in that moment. And I'll even do that on like planned stuff. Like I'm not saying the Bible actually says this, but what if this was part of it? And because I think, and I only do that if I really think it lines up with it,
right?
To where like. You could tease it out and prove it out, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, but I think too many communicators though just let it fly, and you're like, I don't know if that was. Yeah. Go gadget statement or tractor. Sometimes. So
what's the thing about online now is once it's out there.
It's out there, dude.
It's out there.
Yeah. So no, I felt like, and tonight I got to go a little bit more into, my. I love to teach, and I love to preach, and I love mixing the two together. Like teaching's informing, preaching's kind of more inspiring type thing. I love to do the two together, but I love when I can just follow the narrative of the scripture, and that's why I love going through Acts a lot.
Yeah,
and kind of like pulling the things out of the story.
Right.
And that one, and this last half was really that of seeing Paul. He didn't see the 3,000 people get saved like Peter did.
Right.
He saw they want to kill him. And then, so what does that mean? And what does it mean when he gets to be the Roman citizen and the other guy had to buy his thing? And then what does it mean when he was descended from a Pharisee? And so that way it played to his advantage in that particular meeting. And then when the Lord, is like, now I'll send you to Rome after you just did this in Jerusalem. And, I always ask a question in the text, like, that was the most unsuccessful thing I think Paul's ever done. Like in every other city, at least a few, like on Mars Hill, at least a few got saved.
Right.
Or like in Ephesus, it was a full-on movement, and he goes and then he's encouraging churches, and then he goes to Jerusalem, and like not even a week into it, they're beating the out of him.
Right.
And I didn't say anything there, by the way. If people are like, did they just bleep?
Did they bleep it out?
No, they're beating the stuffing out of him, and no one's getting saved. And, like his conversation with the apostles when he first shows up is like, hey, man, that's really great, Paul. I'm glad all this stuff's happening. Hey, by the way, there's a lot of people here that are like upset with you.
Right.
And so we need you to go do this ritual. And so he does the ritual, and then he gives his testimony, and then they all hate him. And he knows what he's about to say is going to make everyone upset because he's going to talk about the Gentiles, but he's being faithful and obedient regardless of what the outcome is going to be.
Right.
And that's, I think, really hard for us as believers to do that on the regular basis, to be faithful, no matter what. And then, but then you just see like these great kind of parallels where like, the Roman commander had to earn his citizenship.
Yeah,
Paul was just given to him. Yeah. And that's really, it's like the author of Luke, the author of Acts, is the imagery in it. Like he is telling a story in the defense of Paul, but there's all these little like nuggets within there.
Yeah.
Like he was a physician, so he's very detail oriented. And a lot of the stuff that he actually got for his gospels was all through firsthand account interviews. He talked with them. That's why you have Jesus and when he's 12 in the book of Luke, because he talked with
someone was there.
Yeah, because he was talking either with Mary or whoever, and that was the memory that she had. Of course, all inspired by the Holy Spirit. But Luke, like his storytelling in this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because you see the different layers and you see the different connections and like the little subtle jabs and hints of different things. And so, I love when I get to follow that kind of like and bounce from thing to thing. So it might not necessarily have a complete and clear linear point 1, 2, and 3 that all kind of clump together, but instead you're just going to extrapolate like the biblical principles that are being communicated in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, ultimately this one did kind of like map out to where it was, it all was kind of congruent, but
yeah. Yeah, I think for sure one of those parallels, you kind of alluded to it, but the idea of not earning, not us as believers, right?
Yeah.
Not having to earn
Right.
our identity, our citizenship in heaven because of what Jesus did on the cross,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that there's still so many people, I think, who maybe just struggle with this idea, especially in today's day and age where there's so many things you have to work for and earn and whatnot. And so that idea that like we are gifted sonship, daughtership, like that's not something that we earn,
bro.
And just the power and authority that comes with that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So if we look at, again, like the whole, and this is something, again, I want to tease out. I really think, like, after preaching this message and going like, I've got nothing to where I'd have preached it. Now I'm going to see, I want to go back and really develop it.
Yeah.
Because, if like this whole, the whole 21, 22 and beginning of 23, it's the religious coming against Paul.
Right.
It's the Jews who believe that you have to earn it, follow the law for salvation,
right?
Versus Paul, who's like, it's by grace and grace alone that Jesus saves.
Right.
I'll do the traditional things, fine. But that's not what does this for me. And he's trying to communicate that to his people. So you see that there, and then you see, like, kind of in the middle of that, the Roman the commander who had to buy his citizenship, had to earn this citizenship, and then Paul, who was just gifted his citizen by like he inherited it from his father or grandfather, whatever it was, right? And then he goes right back into a scene with, again, him who's like, I'm just here to testify the resurrection of the dead, and then those in the Sanhedrin, the Sadducees and the Pharisees, that they start fighting about that,
right?
Where, like, for me, what I look at too, when you get into what Roman citizenship means, so like, again, like the parallels, right? The religious, that you earn it versus you get it. So Roman citizens, right? I mentioned it briefly tonight, but if you're a Roman citizen, you could own land. Like you could own property.
Right.
I just think about, like, mansions in heaven, mansions in heaven, there was you had a social status. You had the right to a trial in Rome. You had legal rights, which I think about just in the kingdom of God. And how much actually, when you get into studying God's kingdom, how much actually has to do with, like when Jesus says it is finished, it's like it's been paid in full.
Yeah,
it's done. All, like, legal standings, everything, it's solid. It's finished. The fact that we have a testimony, which is, we talked in our last. If I had more time about, like, this is what you're testifying to. So the whole idea of, like, as a Roman, and that's what Paul's going to go do, is going to go testify in Rome. But the whole thing of, like, that's what a Roman citizen has, is all of these legal rights. And Paul got those rights basically by grace, because he was born into it. Right.
Nothing, he didn't earn it.
Yeah. And it's almost like, again, for us, when you think about it, we're born again into the kingdom of God. And then you have the other guy that's like, I had to earn mine. And what's funny is that within earning it, is that most people, when they bought their citizenship, they had to do it via bribe with a crooked politician, or someone somehow would sneak it in. Historically, I don't know if there was ever a time where they kind of opened up for sale. But yeah, so the fact that those two were kind of hitting at the same time, and understanding what our citizenship gets us.
Yeah.
The access that we have, the eternity that we get to inherit, all of those different things, right? That kind of like line out pretty, not parallel exactly, but close to.
Yeah.
With the Roman
citizenship. Yeah, it's like, again, there's power in that. Like there's like a phone, like, I wonder if, just from, again, this is maybe not in the text, but I wonder the, like, insecurity that comes from having that citizenship that isn't obtain the correct way, the insecurity versus someone like, you know what I mean? Like when you're,
for sure,
like,
yeah.
like I think about like this idea of getting into like sonship, right? Like I know, like my parents love me.
Yeah.
I know I'm their son.
Right. Yeah.
There's no like insecurity. There's no like, well, like I ask my parents for things all the time. We actually just my wife and I had a funny conversation because I asked my parents something else. She's like, why you don't feel it? And I'm like, it's my parents.
Yeah. Right.
Like what do you mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I know my parents. Like I know. Like you know what I mean? There's a security there.
Yeah.
That's like, this is deep. This is cool.
Yeah.
This is Coltrane's. Like this is what we do, right? And so, like, I just wonder again, like, if your means of obtaining kind of salvation is through works and stuff. It's like, well, that's not real. And I wonder if there's just kind of like an insecurity that is just rubbed up against those who are. I mean, when it's just when I love I think it's Paul says it in Romans. It's imputed upon you. It's salvation. That identity is it's imputed. It's like thrown on us. It's like, you know what I mean. So when you have that versus something that you've tried to work for and obtain for, I think there's just like a difference in like probably the confidence you feel. You know.
Well, yeah. If you had to buy it and ultimately had to earn it, right? And you kind of did it through, sketchy means, then there's got to be that fear that can get taken away. Just like that thing of if I'm always working for like God's approval, then it can just be, if I don't do enough, I'll get ripped away. And that's where a lot of us believers live, is in that place of like, well, I didn't pray enough this week. That's why I lost my job. I didn't pray. I didn't read my Bible enough. That's why, my wife and I got in a fight or whatever. Like we always equate those things. You're like, no, that's not it at all.
Yeah,
and that's comes down to like either poor theology, poor belief, or just again, so for you have an overwhelming confidence in being a Coltrane and your parents, that was instilled in you somehow, where other people would have because of their family thing, what's the word, an insecurity in it. Totally. Like you grew up in a volatile home or whatnot, and that's why it's interesting, because sometimes we'll equate the Lord with what we grew up with, family or whatnot. But honestly, what I love about that for you is that I see it in your kids, because every time they come into my house and they're like, "Give me." But we're working on it. Yeah, no. But what I love about that is that it's not that they feel it's not an entitlement thing.
Sure.
But it's a comfortability thing. It's like I know that if I ask for something, I can get it. Right. Or I can't get it, but I'm just going to ask. And just the boldness that they have to just ask. Which maybe is kind of, it might be just a child thing, but my kids would do that. They just ask for things. And
again, I think you have that when you're secure.
You do, yeah,
right?
Yeah,
and that security brings that boldness.
Yeah,
it's like, and I think like there's no greater security once you understand that the grace that's been given to you. Yeah. It's not based on works, not based on merit. It's based on the goodness and the fullness of God's work.
Yeah, security equals boldness. Yeah.
Yeah, I
like that. Like, I'm just thinking about that. Like, Paul, he was secure in his. So he was bold. Peter, insecure, wavered.
Yeah,
but eventually becomes. Yeah, that's the trip.
Yeah,
I like that. Security is boldness.
I thought it was also interesting too. You brought up in your message just kind of the as you see the Sanhedrin and the Pharisees and the Sadducees, all that whatnot, that the fighting, right? Yeah, so the insecurity. Now they're fighting about what well, actually, no, it's this and this is what gets it, right? And that kind of parallel to the church even today, and how I think it's funny too. Like I think of how, especially in the church, we all the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and it's like I think we're much closer to these people that we 100%. We make fun of, and we make them to be the bad guys. It's like I think if we were to place ourselves in the story, we're much closer to the Pharisees and Sadducees.
It's crazy
than we like to admit, but we see that, right? But we see that today too. We see that the division, the fighting.
Yep.
Just the division that breaks out there, and then I loved. It's funny because I said this in my message last week too, but I think it's so funny then why we wonder why we want to be invitational and invite people
Right.
into church, and it's like it's not appealing to other people,
Right.
Because it's like, well, what are you inviting them into?
Exactly,
You're inviting
yeah.
them into something where they see the way that you talk about your brother and your sister. I mean, Jesus says they will know you are my disciples by how you love one another. Yeah. So inversely,
right,
if they see us not treating each other well, talking badly, and creating division amongst non-essential things,
sure.
I mean, that's a testimony in and of itself, and obviously not a good one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why Paul, in most of his letters, in some way, shape, or some way, shape, or form, addresses.
It's a common theme.
Yeah, slander or gossip or something, right? Backbiting. Right. That's, and we feast off of it. It releases a dopamine hit or something in us.
Yeah.
That makes us go, "Ooh, tell me more," or, "Oh, I said that about somebody and I got this reaction,"
right.
or we watch something of another pastor getting called out or another leader, whatever it might be, and we like, oh,
yeah.
And what is that lovely? Is it grace building? Is it
right?
Like, why are we thinking about such things?
For
as
sure.
Paul would say.
For sure. It is crazy how prevalent that is, and how how much people like revel in that, or like they see that as like a good thing. Like think about like kind of the heresy hunter crowd, or some of those other things. Or again, you talked about like maybe a pastor, or maybe a prominent or popular pastor might fall, and there's that like sentiment of like, well, see, I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, why is that? That should cause us grief. Pain, not like validation,
crying out for his family, to like praying for him or her or whatever, And
there is like a weird mental or emotional kind of dopamine hit that people get from that. There's a quote, it's from some superhero movies, I don't remember exactly which one, and it's funny, but it's actually so spot on. But he says the only thing that people love more than building up a hero is tearing one down.
Ooh.
And it's like that idea of like, we love celebrating and liking people and sharing people's stuff, but also there's a sense of I don't know, of excitement that people have tearing down and what I mean. And again, I believe if someone's speaking something outside of the gospel and outside of teaching the word heretically, I believe that we should, and the Bible lays out how we should address that. But I think we should. But I don't think there should ever be any type of excitement or joy or glee when we see, especially people in ministry, fall, because we know that has great consequence. And like you said, that we're known for eating our own.
And kind of on the opposite end of that, and this is again where we kind of see the strength of Paul, is that if you've heard it said before, I don't know who originally said it, but if you live by their praise, you'll die by their criticism.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so even if you don't fall, but you're getting criticized, that's hard, man. Like to get beat up in that sense. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Dude, throw rocks at me all day long.
Right.
Like words, they crush
forever. They stick with you.
They stick, dude. And you hear them over and over again. And so it really, having that thick skin and soft heart is necessary when you are, I think, just a human, in general, but for sure a believer that gets into that. It's interesting, like, again, with all of the infighting that you see even today, which is, we do it very publicly on, all the socials, is, or you think about today, like, how many different denominations and movements there are. And, that's not like there's only one thing. That's been the case like for a long time. That, I mean, even with Judaism, like there were 5 different sects of of Judaism at this time. 6 if you include Christianity, because that was actually included for a while.
Yeah.
That's why they kind of like were cool. They had such variance in their belief and what they went for. So even though they would all go after each other too. Even though they're all Jews, they would all fight with one another. And it's so crazy how similar each of those sects are to like us today. So like I said, like the Pharisees were more of the charismatics.
Right.
They're like, the word of God, but also like, let's add a little bit to the word over here. Right. This is what it means. And then, resurrection of the dead and spirits and demon, like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like really experiential, heavy, like on like in-person worship. And then you had the Sadducees who were like, nope, just the law. They would be like the Reformed today.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the Reformed. They're like, no, it's just God's word and that's it. And like, but they were also, but they were like, they were political, not wildly political, but they were all about like, let's get power. So like, it'd be like the Christians today that are like reformed and very conservative, and this is what we're going to do.
Right.
Then you had, and I'm not sure how much of what, like the Sanhedrin was mainly Sadducees with some Pharisees. I don't know how like the other stuff, but then you have like the Zealots, and the Zealots are like, kingdom of God by any means necessary. Like let's burn it down, dude. Yeah. Let's freaking go. And Jesus had one of those on his team. Simon the Zealot. Right. So, and they were like they theirs were like political, but from the standpoint of we're going to take over the kingdom.
Right.
God's kingdom is going to be established right.
Yeah.
Stinking now.
Yeah.
And then you had the Herodians who were those would be for us today the very cultural Christians, just very casual.
Okay.
Just like, oh, of course, yeah, I'm a Christian. I go to church, and then I also hit the Coliseum.
Just taking the fights this weekend.
Just taking the fights this weekend. Hit the Coliseum, and I'm gonna swing by one of those orgies later. Yeah. So then, that's cool, because I'm Jewish, right? I'm circumcised. It's good, and
it's crazy.
It is. It's pretty nuts, dude.
I just think so much too about like, again, it's maybe a little bit off topic, but I just think so much of like, really, we should be cheering and believing the best one another.
I think so,
and that's the way it should be. Years way before, like a long time ago in a different life, I used to coach basketball, like little kids basketball, and I remember there was this kid, I'm sure he'll never see this podcast, but he was horrendous at basketball. I don't know. I was like, bro, you are playing the wrong sport. Like, you are bad. But he was on a team, and he was bad. He was bad. We never played. He never played. But, I mean, because it was kids basketball, so he would always play like in like the fifth quarter. Okay, yeah. He never played in like the – but he actually really didn't play that much. Anyways. But I remember the last game of the season, it's the last game, and so we let kind of some of the kids who didn't play as much play the whole second half. And this kid was always so celebratory of other people on the team. And so, even like, it could have been like, well, I don't play as much, or, I kind of get all the garbage
minutes. It's like
minutes.
Rudy, dude.
Yeah, he got all the garbage minutes, so he could have easily had a bad attitude, but he was always like the first people, timeouts would happen, he'd always be the first one giving high fives and like, I can help you, I'll grab the waters, I'll do whatever, right? And so when he plays in the last game of the season, he's playing and whatnot, and it's not very good, but he scores a bucket, and everyone just goes nuts, dude. And it's because this kid, when it was other people's turn to play, he was celebrating. And I just feel like, again, when we see other churches or ministries or things happening, even if they're not our same bends or whatever the case is, or maybe they're up and where we see them having great success, it's like, man, we should be celebrating because we're on the same team anyways.
Right.
And so like, it's kind of like, again, what Paul says, it's like, what do I care? As long as the gospel's being preached.
Right.
And if the gospel's being preached, we should celebrate it.
Yep.
And it's like, but again, there is so much division. There's so much backbiting. And I wonder if our witness, I wonder if our testimony would be stronger if we were just known to being people who were celebrating what God's doing in other places. Yeah. Instead of looking at the differences and going, well, right. Yeah, you see what happens when, so these group people, see their faith isn't real. And it's like, man, that's not.
Yeah, I think part of the, and oh gosh, what psalm is it? Anyways, there's a psalm. It basically says where there's unity, God bestows a blessing. And it talks about like all the things that it's like dew on Mount Hermon. It goes Mount Hermon. It goes through all these things, right? And like it's basically like there's blessing as far as there's provision. Yeah. There's oh gosh, this is where the night gets a little bit later. But anyways, but it ends with, and life forevermore. So bestows like life forevermore, salvation. And where you see unity amongst the believers, like that you see that. Like I think North County is interesting because of how many churches actually love each other and are for each other.
Yeah, so good.
Like I'm wearing the San Diego Encounter night, right? Encounter. It's it happened by the time you see this, but Sunday, 6 p.m. That's a bunch of churches coming together from like different denominational backgrounds to even like doctrinal bents when it comes to
or
deliverance,
just churches in the same area that you would think would be competing.
Or competing, exactly, No,
and trying to make heaven crowded,
and we like love each other and pray for each other. We're on text threads together. Like that's just, it's nuts.
Right.
Like a lot of our support came from local churches. I had like, Daybreak was a huge supporter of us, like thousands of dollars to help us through things. And Venture Church gave us some money and also have helped us other stuff. North Coast, huge, Coastline, had us preach, and then said, hey, if anyone wants to go, and by the way, here's some money. That's
so cool.
Light Church gave us a drum set. You don't see that everywhere,
right?
And so that's why I do think there's like, in essence, I know revival is breaking out everywhere, but a lot of those churches that I know, they're all growing. They're all seeing people come and get saved, and this is interesting because. There is a, like, how do I say it, like, delicately? So, we invite people to this. We invite other churches to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And some don't for just certain reasons of we'll go, but we can't promote it because if we promote it, like everyone's going to be there. Like it'll be like, we'll blow the place out and no one will have a seat, type thing and whatnot. So, or stuff like that. So, but I reached out to one and I was like, hey, it'd be great for you guys to join us for this. And they're like, okay, can you hand me a doctrinal statement about it? I was like, don't you just trust that?
Yeah. Oof.
Like all of these churches that are Jesus preaching churches, that are Bible teaching churches, you think we're all going to just go weird?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. Like it was a trip. And then, but on that note, like that church is it's dying.
Right.
People are getting saved there. And that's so heartbreaking.
For sure.
But it comes down to that thing of like, well, this is what I believe, and so I'm going to argue with you about it to the point of like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is so what I, it's a hill I'm going to die on. And there's some hills that people die on that like, that's kind of more of a molehill.
Right.
In the kingdom and not necessarily a mountain.
Yeah.
So
I tell people all the time, right? I've said this on time from stage or whatever, but I think it's going to be real surprising. Some of us are going to get to heaven, have mansions next door to the people that we were shouting down and disagreeing with. And it's like, hey, listen, there are things, and I get they're important, and okay, we worship this way or that. Okay, I get it, but at the same point in time, like you're talking about spending eternity in heaven with someone, and it's like, okay, what? Again, it's like security of like, okay, well, what is it that we have the utmost security about? And it's like God's grace, and that's nothing that none of us can boast about. None of us can, can claim. And it's like our citizenship, our sonship, our daughtership is it's all God. Yeah. And so if I see you as a brother, it's kind of like to me, like I see people. I have a brother, right? I have brothers, and it's like, man, me and my brother, we're pretty different people. And we can get a little squirrely about certain things and knuckle up about some things, but it's like, hey man, that's my brother.
It's your brother, yeah.
And like all the other stuff, eventually, you know what I mean?
Your blood,
like,
dude.
Yeah, like So yeah, man. It's I thought that you hit it quickly, but I thought that was really just man. It breaks my heart. Yeah. In one sense, but it was also just very like interesting to see that, like like you said, it's like it's like what. it's like the I think Ecclesiastes, right? It says that like there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
And so it's like interesting to see that happening, playing out in Acts.
Yeah.
And you go, oh,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Exactly, bro. You know, and you know what's absolutely wild too, right? Is that like for all of those different sects of Judaism, I'm pretty sure the one thing they could rally around is the Messiah,
Right. Mm-hmm.
is Jesus.
Right.
Paul was offering them like this can be a unifying factor for us,
Right.
and is Jesus.
Right.
What about today?
Yeah.
You know, like the unifying factor. Oh, Jesus,
Right.
Son of God, Jesus,
Yeah.
Holy Trinity, Jesus,
Yeah.
died for our sins, rose again, third day, Jesus,
Yeah.
ascended into heaven, Jesus,
Yeah.
born of a virgin, Jesus. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
down.
Cool.
As soon as, like, that's okay. All right. And you believe some, you know, wacky stuff on prosperity, or you believe some wacky stuff on, you know, like there's no demons, or well, okay. That's, I mean, all right, man. But Jesus,
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. Like that can be that unifying factor that we go, all right, well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So as opposed to, now I will say though, if it's like Satan's brother, Jesus,
True.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
Like, Jesus is just the Son and not God Himself as well.
Jesus is my homeboy.
No, yeah, Jesus is my homeboy. Yeah, like so.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, and also too, I just thought it was really cool. Again, you kind of landing the plane in the message of just like you know, this idea of like your character in the chaos.
Yeah.
Right. But Paul getting to experience the similar hurt
Yeah.
that Jesus felt.
Yeah.
And like then seeing his character play out, like what was most important
Right.
to Paul, right?
Yeah.
Is like, well, I want to preach the gospel.
Yeah.
And like understanding that like that is a reality,
Yeah.
even for us today, right? Like there's elements of like being misunderstood, or you know, having your stuff not even misunderstood, mischaracterized.
Yeah.
You know, all that, and it's like, okay, well, in those moments, what are you going to do? How are you going to stand? And then also being able to like know that the Jesus you serve can empathize with that pain, you know, of being mischaracterized, misunderstood, and downright hated.
Yep.
You know,
Just hated.
even in his hometown, the people who knew him best.
Yeah. That's the for Jesus to stand by Paul at you know, kind of like before he goes on to this next part of being you know, given to Festus, which we'll talk about in a couple weeks. For Jesus to come and stand by him, that's one that just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's just stood by Paul right here. This isn't like the wind blew through in the Spirit. No, like he said, and he says to him, he goes, man, as you testified here, you're going to testify in Rome. And Paul, that was Paul's, like, again, back in 19, was like, and maybe I'll go see Rome.
Right.
But this was like, no, you're going to see Rome. And because that was Paul's kind of underlying thing of like, if I can get there to preach, you know. And Jesus is like, you're gonna testify. But the thing for me as I look at Jerusalem was like this stay in Jerusalem was the least successful ministry moments of Paul's journey. Right. Every city he goes to, people get saved. I mean, he gets beat up, he gets stoned, you know, to death, all that, like that stuff. Like all that stuff happens, but like he starts churches there. So he's starting churches in these places, and he's doing these things, and he's out and about, and you know, people are getting healed and delivered by his apron, you know, like all of this wild stuff.
Right.
You know, Mars Hill even, like he's with the biggest brains on earth, you know, and some of them surrender their lives to Jesus.
Yeah.
He goes to Jerusalem, the city he grew up in. Like he's from Tarsus of Cilicia, but he grew up in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And no one gets saved. And he just gets beat Like,
Yeah.
and Jesus is like, yeah, now you're like, just like there, you're going to go to Rome. It's like, it would look like Jesus would show up and be like, man, that was a tough one, bro. You should have done this different. And I think that's kind of what we'd expect.
Sure.
You know? Like,
sure.
but instead he says, no, like, I, like, okay. You know what it is to like be rejected by the people that you love.
Right.
To be hated, and they were yelling like they are like, this man is not fit to live, they say.
Right.
The amount, I just can't imagine like the people you love the most looking at you and being like, I want you to die. And then you get arrested and they go, yep, away with them, meaning like just take them out back and off them.
Yeah.
But I love you guys. Like, and then there, he says the whole, you know, like, this is my testimony, guys. Like, hey, and they're like, yeah, he's not fit to live. Kill him. Right. And then I just, the pain, because again, we always forget, like, Paul's a real person with real feelings. And you read those through the epistles. And it's, I think sometimes like the Lord takes us through that stuff. One, because it draws things out of us. Two, it puts things into us. But three, it allows us to like identify with Christ's pain as well. Like there's nothing that we've gone through that he hasn't gone through.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, all right, now, like in Jesus' hometown of Nazareth, when he goes back there, at first they're enamored with him. Who is this man that like the scriptures, like, this is amazing.
Right.
It says they were amazed at his teaching.
Yeah. And
then Jesus is amazed at their lack of faith. Because as soon as they go, wait a minute, what they do is they equate themselves with him. They're like, oh, isn't this,
right.
They say, isn't this Mary's son? Isn't he the carpenter? Doesn't say Joseph.
Right.
Because hometown remembers she got pregnant.
Right.
And it wasn't Joseph's.
Right.
And then, but to be called the son of the mother, like was actually an insult.
Wasn't derogatory.
Yeah, derogatory.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh, isn't this Mary's son?
Yeah, like a bastard.
Yeah, and just kind of like goes through. They start to equate themselves with him, and then they start to belittle him. And it says that Jesus. I mentioned this. I wish I'd have gone deeper on this because I did. I mentioned like in his hometown, it says that he could do no miracles.
Right.
Except to heal a few sick people. And which is like, oh, well, yeah, except a few sick people. No miracles except that. But it was like he was amazed at their lack of faith. So he's amazed, like he's blown away by how little faith they have. And the reason why he couldn't do many miracles. I mean, he's God, he can do whatever.
Right.
But there was no hunger.
No faith.
There's no faith.
Yeah.
And the scary thing for I think a lot of people
it's like no expectations.
Is that we don't have the faith or the expectations. We don't believe that he can do it.
Right.
We equate ourselves with him from the standpoint of Jesus is my homeboy. We lack a good godly fear.
Fear of God, yeah.
Fear of God. And we've just so become, I guess you could say, Herodian Christians. Like talking about, Judaism, like the Herodians, to where it's like, yeah.
It's commonplace.
Oh man, Jesus is here. This is cool.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh, that's great, man. Hey, I like the way you read those scriptures.
Yeah.
But Paul has done that now, man. Paul, he's been completely rejected by his people. He's done all the different stuff. He heard the crowd shout. In essence, like Jesus heard, crucify him.
Yeah.
Crucify him.
Yeah.
You're you kidding me? And here we are, 20-ish years later, in the city of Jerusalem. People, the crowds yelling, the pretty similar thing.
Right.
To a man who represents Jesus.
Yeah.
And that just kind of begs again the question for us of like, and do we expect to be celebrated?
Yeah, totally.
People, I mean, if we're doing it, we're out there living for the Lord, like all that stuff. There's got to be a level of like, yeah, I don't care if you live or die, bro.
Yeah.
Or I'd rather you dead, or whatever it might be, and that stuff. I did make a point tonight that I kind of thought was kind of cool about like our faith is kind of like baseball.
Mm.
That you are a Hall of Famer if you are successful 30% of the time.
Right. Yeah.
Which means you're failing 70% of the time at bat.
Totally.
Isn't that crazy?
100%.
But you don't get a hit if you don't step up to bat.
Yeah.
So I think as believers, we've got to step up to bat in different things.
Yeah.
And be willing to fail. Be willing to get the no. Be willing to like pray for the healing and nothing happen. Be willing to share your faith and, get yelled at
and come back and try it again.
Come back and try it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come back and try it again.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, man. So that was character and chaos.
Mm.
Paul's, man, what an example. Follow my example. It's follow my examples. I follow the example of Christ. That's the example of Christ. He just followed it. You know what I mean? Just got yelled at and cussed out by my own, people that I love so dearly.
And gets up and keeps going.
And gets up and keeps going.
Yeah. Wow.
On to Rome.
So good.
Boom.
Right on. Well, we'll be off next week.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be in Greece.
I'll be in Greece.
We'll be watching on the road, dude.
For sure.
Taking if I had more time international, dude.
I wonder if we could we do like a whole setup Zoom thingy, dude? Zoom.
Depend on your hotel Wi-Fi.
Hotel Wi-Fi. I wonder if we can try to like link that up, bro. That might be kind of dope. We could. I'm going to try to like put together like reels or YouTube shorts or something.
Yeah.
Just kind of like at different sites I go to if I can.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been to Israel, so like a lot of times on these tours, you're just like bam, 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 bam. And by the time you get back to your room, you're just like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to do my best to do that like as much as I can throughout the days, but if not, I will.
No.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Again, thank you all so much for watching. We're so thankful for you guys. We're excited to be back in a couple of weeks. Drop LT in the comments.
LT in the comments.
It could be Ladanian or it could be Lawrence.
Yeah,
whatever.
I love it, dude.
It don't matter to me. But LT in the comments. And
we have to do our Q&A thing we've been talking about.
Yeah, we do. I know this week kind of got crazy.
Yeah.
We will have a Q&A, and we have a new intern. He's in the back. He's back here, but they're working on a Reacts video, which that one's gonna be fun. That one's gonna be fun, dude.
It's gonna be fun.
So, but yeah, we're excited. We'll be back in a few weeks.
Subscribe, comment,
share the prayer codes, review us,
review.
If you're a podcast watcher, listener, go ahead and review. Let us know what you think about the podcast, and we'll be back. And if I have more time,
sounds good.
A couple weeks. Peace.